Hello and welcome. This is Best Foot Forward Shoes, the podcast, and this is episode number 56. Thank you so much to everybody for joining us, whether you're watching us on YouTube, whether you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever platform, wherever you are around the world. Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays. Hope everyone is having a great break. This year has been insane. 2025 has been one of the biggest years, not only in sneakers, but in the world, in a lot of people's lives. You know, it's kind of, we're getting towards the end of the year and feeling a little bit tired, but the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Adham Abousalem, also known as Chef Doomy, has come onto the podcast once again. He has joined us. He's been very gracious with his time. He's going to give us a bit of a perspective on his top moments of the year. We're going to be kind of talking about 2025 as an overall sort of recap. Man, it's been a wild one. How are you doing over there in California in the USA?
We're doing good, trying to stay warm. It feels like a colder winter than usual this year, but, you know, trying to stay warm. And yeah, I agree with you. It's been a crazy year for sneakers, no doubt. And looking forward to recap some moments with you.
Yeah, man. And some of the biggest things over the last couple of months, I feel, have been a lot of like lists. You went to Complex Con, you saw their top 10 lists in person. You chatted to many people. You kind of got a sense of the sneaker community. It's obviously had a great time there. I've spoken to other people who were there and they just loved all of it. I suppose from the top, what was kind of your overall take on that? And then what was kind of one of your big moments from that time at Complex Con?
Yeah, so I really enjoyed going to Complex Con. This was my second year there.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I enjoy my time there is just being able to connect with whether it be brands or creators or even just random people who kind of, you know, sometimes they catch something or something catches your eye and you get to chat a bit. So I like the ability to really be like, as people say, out in the streets and just talking to people and getting to know about people and stuff.
Yeah.
So you know, this was my second year there. It was really fun to do that, get to see people again. This year, I felt a bit overwhelmed, though. I feel like last year, because Travis was the CD or the creative director, a lot of the presence was Travis oriented. So Travis took a lot of the space at the event, which didn't allow a lot of space for other brands.
Yeah.
Whereas because this year, Daniel Arsham was the creative director, there was a lot more brands, a lot more uniqueness and, you know, things that you could see. I also feel like because of how successful last year was, and a lot of people felt like it was a very good Complex Con, it even brought more creators to this year's Complex Con. So I got a bit overwhelmed because it was like so many brands to see, so many people to talk to, some people that I had saw last year or before in the past, but also plenty of people that I might have known online for like years, like 5 years, 10 years, and I get to see them for the first time there.
Yeah.
So a bit overwhelming, but overall really enjoyed that. And you get to see the people at Complex, you get to see different brands. I think honestly, the biggest moment for me that year was really, I guess, the recognition from Hidden New York.
Yeah.
You know, big Instagram page, they have the ASICS collabs. And, you know, last year when I attended, that was the first booth I went to, and I bought the shoe and I bought the product and I showed off the product, which, you know, the person who runs Hidden seemed to really like and actually gave me a follow at the time.
Yeah.
And going from there to a year later where, you know, that person really appreciates what I do for the community, really in tap with sneakers, and deciding to actually see me their latest release, which was the Hidden New York ASICS Gel Trainer 14 in the Dawn colorway. Just to me, I don't really know if I can explain it well. It just felt like a really special thing for me, like a big deal, like going from someone who's really trying to, you know, work with brands more to, you know, being given a chance. So I thought that was really cool. Now, in terms of the sneaker of the year list,
there you go.
I put a story when it came out about my opinion, and really the only thing I have to say is that, and lists are subjective, right?
Yeah.
Really, the only thing I have to say was that it was disappointing to see that there was not a lot of diversity.
Yeah.
When you look at the list, it's 8 Nike Jordan, 1 Converse, which is technically a Nike Jordan
Nike,
brand, and then 1 Adidas.
Yeah.
No New Balance, no Solomon, no Hoka. no Asics,
Yeah.
which I feel like kind of snubs those brands a bit. But it also goes to speak to how Conflicts operates and how that list is
Yeah.
made. That the list is made by a group of people who must not be big enjoyers of those other brands and focus more on what Nike Jordan does.
Yeah.
So it's just a reality. In terms of the ordering of the list, like, you know, taking that aside and not focusing on the fact that they didn't include those brands, I don't think their list was like too off the mark
Yeah,
per
I
se.
agree.
In the sense that, you know, I think Brick by Bricks, for example, I think was their number one. I mean, that was a big shoe, nonetheless. It had a lot of people talking. It had a lot of people going for the shoe. It had many moments associated with it. So it makes sense to me. The Jellyfish was on there too. It made sense to me. Undefeated was on there too. I don't know if it was a number two, unfortunately, because I feel like it kind of,
yeah, it was number two.
number two on the list, but I feel like it shouldn't have been if you're just looking at Nike Jordan. You know, and the main reason there is just that I feel like it did the exact same thing as the Union Jordan 1s did from February, which is in the moment, a lot of people talk about it, but you know, we're in December and I don't really see it at the forefront of people's minds. Whereas a shoe like Brick by Brick, Jellyfish, like people still talk about that even after the release. But anyways, I'm not going to go break down every shoe in the list, but just to give you the general feel. But, you know, I think as a Nike Jordan list, they weren't really like entirely off the mark. But it was just unfortunate not to see that diversity.
It definitely moves the needle, and I think that's what Complex is often about. But I think if people have been listening to this podcast for a while, they've heard me talk about that list, and I think they might be a little bit sick of it. So I do appreciate your unique opinion, but I'm probably not going to dwell too much on that list. But I did enjoy seeing some of your stories from ComplexCon, like your experiences, your dinners that you had with StockX, some of the other obviously activations that you went to. Like there was the Hellstar Adidas, that was pretty cool. Obviously the hidden, cool. I heard about the story of the hidden New York team running around in Jehovah's Witnesses outfits and handing out cards and people being like, oh no thanks, because that's usually what you do, and then they kind of flipped on their head where if you took it you didn't get a free pair but you got to buy a pair. It was like, that was a pretty cool activation. So I suppose you're a little bit closer to them, and that was a pretty good stroke of genius there in my opinion.
I liked it. So I even had a misinterpretation of what was going on, but people walking around handing out brochures, and some of the brochures would have a ticket, and it wasn't actually to buy the pair. You actually got the dusk pair for free if you got the ticket. But everyone's understanding in the event was that, there's only the 24 pairs or so that they gave out, and that's it. But it turns out it was just like kind of a sneak peek to, you know, Hidden having their wider release at the start of the month of the dusk. But, you know, exclusive to Hidden, of course. So if you didn't get it from Hidden, you know, then you pretty much missed out, unfortunately.
And I think are there still pairs still available of that one? Because I feel like I saw them a day after they released and there was still pairs on there. Maybe they closed the website, but there was still, I don't remember them selling out in my size. They might have sold in other sizes.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a slow sellout. Like I checked later in the day and there were still a lot of sizes left, but then I think I checked yesterday, so a week after it's released, and most of the sizes were gone.
Yeah. Okay.
I think there was only like 2 or 3 sizes left, and the shop's still open till Christmas. So you know, if your size happens to be in stock and you want it, you know, you still have a little bit to think about. But I wouldn't sleep too much on it, just in case you really want them.
And that white and green pair is still available pretty much everywhere. So, I mean, that kind of speaks a little bit to, I suppose, if you wanted to keep the collection going, like that was kind of my main motivation of having the NYC and then the Gel Venture. I was like, oh yeah, I could get the other one, but it kind of came at a bad time because, as you could see me kind of reaching down to my shoebox collection, I had this pair come in, so that kind of blew a lot of the Black Friday budget out of the water. Which, for people who are listening, this is the 991 V2 from Australian store up there. You got the green insole, you got the green traction pattern. As you can see, they're a little bit dirty because I literally have just worn these to Melbourne. I took a picture outside of the up there store, as I always do whenever I go there. I even grabbed a water bottle, if you can see there. It's kind of awesome. So I feel like this pair kind of took a little bit more precedence than the Hidden NY pair, which Yeah, I just it was one of those. I
Understandable
can't have
though.
them all. I can't have them all, and I had to just pick. And this one was kind of the one that I chose, and I'm still very happy with this one. So, did you end up picking up a pair of these?
I didn't grab a pair.
Hmm.
Two reasons really. One is there was just I had to pick, right. Like there was a lot of releases in November,
Yeah,
so I had to be a bit picky. And two, like this all this duty nonsense really
yeah,
rubs me the wrong way, and I
yeah.
just refuse, unfortunately, to buy anything international because I
Hmm.
you know
Yeah,
I just feel like if I spend money and I pay duties, then I'm being complicit to those changes, and I really am against it.
yeah, yeah.
So even though honestly, I think the total to the US with the duties and shipping and everything was like, I think like 315 US,
Hmm.
which not too much more expensive than buying a retail pair
Hmm.
of like a retail collaboration pair of a 991 V2 in the US. Like I think with tax it's close to 300, so it's
Hmm.
not too far off,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
just I don't want to be complicit to the duties. So unfortunately, uh decided that that shoe wasn't for me. I obviously am disappointed that I didn't get them, but there's just so many releases
Hmm.
that I'm also it's not a need to have at the moment.
Yeah. It was pretty much a must have for me. Just it's being Australian, got so many other pairs from up there, and I just kind of felt like this was going to be the one for November, so to speak. So kind of was my pair. I did have one issue. I'm not going to try and put up there on blast, but this is the right shoe, the right hand side shoe. It's kind of hard to see, but there was a little bit of peeling on this little bit here, and so
Oh yeah,
I
I
had to
see it a little bit.
I had to glue that piece back on. So that little piece, that little
Oh, that's
tiny
unfortunate.
triangle right there, almost fell off, and I had to glue it back on. Epoxy has worked a little bit. They did give me a partial refund for that because obviously they're sold out, no more pairs. But I did have a little bit of issues. Some people have also said their QC was pretty bad on it. But again,
That's
it's
unfortunate.
a handmade, made in England kind of shoe from Flimby. So I would expect there would be some discrepancies like that. It's not like a mass market thing made by a lot of like technology or robots and such. So anyway,
Yeah.
but besides that, it's a great shoe. And that was kind of, I suppose, one of my biggest moments from the last couple of months. You've had obviously some big moments with the ASICS Hidden collaboration, doing a lot of those. One of the other moments that I love to chat to you about was the Jellyfish, kind of how that kind of, I suppose,
Yeah.
blew up a little bit in terms of you did a review of those with the special packaging that they had with the what do you call it, like the sack, the plastic bag thing,
Yeah,
like
the
the
kind of like
goldfish
as if it's
style.
like a fly fish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like
I they've been doing a great job with
hmm,
those activations and releases. Like they had the one in Paris Fashion Week, which is how I got my pair. My friend, shout out Leo from the Hidden Discord. He
yeah,
lives close to Paris, so he actually waited in line for me. He was I don't remember if he was seventh or eighth in line, and he was able to get a pair for me with the box and everything. Shipped it over, and then
hmm,
of course, I had my moment with that being one of the earlier owners of the Jellyfish to post on social media.
yeah, yeah,
But you know, Adidas had that moment. They also did something in Las Vegas where they had clips
hmm,
driving the jellyfish truck and releasing the blue jellyfish special early at the Vegas store.
yeah,
And then they had recently two moments, one in Korea with like a arcade game where you could win the triple black pair that's
hmm,
coming.
yeah.
And
I
then
did
they
see that.
also did a special release in New York just a few weekends ago for the triple black pair at BBC, which is like Pharrell's label, and then
Hmm.
at the Adidas flagship there on Fifth Ave. So it was cool. I feel like they're doing a good job capitalizing on the hype and building it and continuing to build it. And then we'll just have to see next year if they're able to continue with that and maintain the demand, which I think they won't have any trouble doing that.
Oh,
Every color so far has been hard to get, has been reselling crazy. Everyone
yeah,
feels like they have to have it. So
yeah.
no, I don't think it's going to be an issue at all.
For sure, it's you seeing a bunch of different colorways. There's some other like there was some leaks of like a brown and like yellow pair that was on Pharrell's feet,
I saw
and
that.
like
Yeah, the
some.
banana one.
There's probably going to be some instead of like the white with a little bit of color. There's probably going to be some more full color versions There was one
For
version
sure.
which I did see like pretty recently, even like today, which was, if you can see it on screen there, it's like a cream tan with like a little tiny hit of light blue on it.
Yeah,
So
that one is nice.
that's
So funny,
with
funny
brown
thing
on it.
about
Is
that
it
one.
brown? I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's brown. It's like a majority brown base with the hits of blue.
Yeah.
Funny thing about that one is when I saw that originally, which was I think he wore it to like the Footwear News Award, and I think the Jellyfish won like best. I don't remember if it won best shoe of the year or
Hmm.
best new shoe of the year. Won an award, but anyways, that's what Pharrell was wearing. The moment I saw that, the first thing I said is, "Oh, this is the next Orally New Balance 990 V4 because it's just the same color combo." And I know you saw the photo and you sent me the like the Japanese
Yeah, this
Vomero
one.
colorway that released. Yeah, so it also looks like that. New Balance has a 1000 that has a similar color scheme as well. Also, Nike, the original when the
Hmm.
Vomeros first started coming back, the women's colorway, which was the oatmeal with the hits of blue, back
Hmm.
from
Oh yeah, yeah,
it would have
yeah.
been like 2022, I think it
I
was.
did have.
Yeah, that.
I did have that pair. Yeah, I had that pair.
Yeah, me too. And it looks like that. But all this to say that that's just a great color scheme,
Yeah.
and I think those will do well. The brown and yellow you mentioned will do well.
Mm.
But yeah, you're right. They're gonna finish the white base with hits of colors, and then they're just gonna go to the more
Hmm.
like adventurous
Yeah.
ones.
It's definitely one that I will eventually get. It was kind of, I didn't quite get a like one of those kind of early pairs and review and such, because it was just like super expensive. It was like $500 Australian, and it's pretty up there in terms of price. And there was a lot of other shoes coming out. So once I find a colorway like that one, which I just showed, that I like really love, I'll probably try and pull the trigger on that one. I think the moment passed before, like, if I had picked them up, it would have been like I'd been the 10th person to get them that day and post about them.
Wow.
So it might have gotten lost in the shuffle. So maybe a bit further down the line, it might become a bit more fresh for people. And yeah, it was number 3 on the complex list. So there's still a lot of
Yeah.
hype around it. So I suppose that Pharrell Jellyfish, even dating back to like February, was a pretty big moment in 2025. Another one that I kind of talked about, well, you talked about, was the brick by brick activations with the big tow truck. Some of those kind of pop-ups which he had in New York. Obviously, Nigel Sylvester is a BMX rider, and he did like a BMX bike through, kind of like what he did with the RMs. Those kind of moments where he popped up and let people join in is really cool. Like collaborating with him on a shoe is I think was a really cool moment, and just like the story around that shoe and the momentum, the train that it's kind of been on this entire year, I feel like will be remembered in years to come as one of the biggest shoes, and it kind of encapsulates 2025 in a shoe, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I think I understand what you mean. And I agree. Like it just, Nigel is the kind of guy that really wants his story shared through his footwear, which I
Mm.
really appreciate. Even the other shoe that I feel like is kind of getting lost in the shuffle, the Jordan 1 Lows Better Time. Those ones are also, yeah, there you go. Like even that shoe, which, kind of getting lost in the shuffle with
Yeah.
all the other shoes, is a special shoe. And I feel like Nigel does a great job making sure that all the shoes that drop have a story
Hmm.
that is very tied to him and personal.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the brick by brick is just a really unique regular Jordan 4, because when people heard Nigel Sylvester was going to get a Jordan 4,
Mm.
that's the Jordan 4 they thought they were going to get, but then it ended up being the remaster, not the original.
Yeah.
And now you got the original Jordan 4 with this nice wave with all these textures to represent a brick. The story is just so elevated. The box is beautiful.
Hmm.
The way it's packaged is just a really shout out to the Nike designers who worked on it, which I think was Frank Cooker and his team. Like
Hmm.
they just nailed it. So I think just having the good story, having the activations, and just the fact that the shoe is beautiful is what made that shoe have the moment and attention
Mm.
that it deserves to get.
Yep, 100%. And to be honest, the one low has actually been worn probably more by me in the last
Oh yeah.
since time I got it. So I feel like it's also came at a time where in Australia it's like getting, as I said, into summer, and wearing a low, especially a Jordan 1 low, is way more comfortable and breathable than a really big chunky, Jordan 4. So I'm sure I'll wear it again in many times when it comes to winter time. But yeah, for me, I've worn this a ton more this year for sure.
And I feel like that Jordan 1 low in general is a slightly more like, okay, I don't think the brick by brick Jordan 4 is a hard shoe to wear per se, but then the Jordan 1 low is a black shoe, right? So it's just so easy to wear with a lot of things. Brick by brick 4, you just have to think about it a bit because it's a bit louder, but it's not. So it's like, there's also that thing, right, where it's kind of like, okay, like you have something so loud, so inviting that makes it more interested and a bit more hype, whereas the low is more quieter, minimalistic, but really good for everyday wear.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I think, Nigel Sylvester in his year will be a bit of a banner year, and we'll see obviously what he brings to us next year when he's got what Jordan 4. I've forgotten the name of the Jordan 4 that he's got coming out. It's like a Cinnabon. Is that the name of it?
Yeah, it's Cinnabar, I think is the color, but it's supposed to be inspired by like the fire red, essentially. It's supposed to be like an aged fire red Jordan 4, which I'm personally excited for because when I had fire red Jordan 4s back when they retroed them, I think it would have been like 2021. I couldn't 100% get into them because the red was like that really bright, like infrared color. But apparently the Nigel take is a bit aged.
Okay.
So the red is going to be more of like I guess like a burgundy or something. So I feel like that would be a shoe for me that, name aside, like I would really like to have, but we'll see, those shoes are, that shoe is probably going to be just as hard, if not harder to get than the OG Brick by Bricks.
Yeah. For sure, man. And another collaborator, I suppose, on a similar kind of level that I wanted to ask your opinion about and chat to you about was Action Bronson. He obviously had 4 pairs come out this year, all of them being made in USA, premium 990, 992 models, 990 V6, 2 different colorways, and then 2 different colorways of the 992. I have one of each of them. I have the Amazonia pair and the the Digitalis Purpurea pair. So I feel like I'm pretty happy with those. It would have been great to have and keep all 4, but such is life. I can't have every single shoe unless I'm a hardcore Action Bronson fan, which, I mean, I like his music. I like his style. I love his shoes. I have like 6 pairs in total now. But, I'm not going to be forking out for every single pair that he releases, regardless of the colorway. So I had the Tiger's Eye pair and I was like, I don't love it like as much. And I saw the photos of the pink purple Digitalis pair and I was like, yeah, that's better. So I kind of sold the other one and kind of saved up to get the Digitalis pair. So did you see, and I know did you pick up the Untitled pair, the one earlier, the mostly white 990 V6? So what was your thought on that one? And I suppose the year that Action Bronson had in 2025?
Yeah, so if we're talking about Action Bronson only in his 4 pairs, I think the Untitled V6 is the best one of the 4. That shoe is a sleeper. I feel like a lot of people look at it and they feel like it's an odd use of the white, and it's like a lot of white and the colors, and it's odd. But in person, they're so like beautiful, so bright, and they really work with like a lot of outfits.
Yeah.
So really one of those shoes that I feel like would shock people if they had it and they saw it in hand. And I think that's like an example of a shoe, like a lot of his shoes, the testament to his ability to make something with a colorway and see something and have a vision that people at first are going to be like, what is this guy doing? But then when they get the shoe in hand, they're like, oh yeah, this guy's a mastermind.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with his OGs, right? Like, which you have obviously in your background. People saw it and they're like, what is this? It looks like he just threw paint on it. But you look at it and you actually hold it in person and you see an outfit, and you're like, oh yeah, that's actually a good shoe.
Yeah. That's the feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that one was my top. I also have the 992, what is it called? The Digitalis Purpurea. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. This is a beauty. And I love that the heel hit was actually like that dark navy blue. and not black. Really beautiful shoe. So those are the two I had. I had the Amazonian hand, and honestly, like, not a bad shoe, just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tiger Eye is like, I really would want to get that shoe, but when I saw the price, I was like, if I have to pick between that and the Digitalis Purpurea, I'd rather have that one instead. So I just really got that one. I love it. I took it with me to New York, wore it a bunch. Like I said, Bronson's really good. He's a really nice guy. He's dope.
Yeah. No, I feel you, man. Like, that's definitely was my thought, and I love this one. So you never saw the Tiger's Eye? You never actually got it or saw it in person? Because it feels a little bit different in person than what the photos show.
I think I saw it in person. I'm trying to remember where. I think it was when we went into Kith in New York. They had them, and really nice in hand. It's just, again, it's the price tag versus like other releases. It's not high on my like need to have list, and I don't say that to discount the shoe or Bronson's skill. It's more so like, if you have that shoe and another 10 shoes releasing, and it's really just a matter of, if I only could pick the top two of what I want, like, it didn't fit in that mix, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I understand, and in an overall sense, Action Bronson has, I feel like, has been an interesting follow on Instagram and social media this year, especially around the time when this shoe was being released, and then also the subsequent like Complex sneakers list and other people's lists. It was kind of not gone off the rails, but like just gotten a little bit more vocal about, this should be sneaker of the year. Like, this should be like everyone's favorite. Like, why are more people not talking about this shoe? Like, there was a little bit of that, I felt. It's been an interesting kind of follow. And I've sent some posts to people, like stories, and I'd be like, what the heck is he on about? Like, just a little bit unhinged.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him for feeling that way. I feel like if you create something and you think it's great and you expect it to have a certain reception, but it doesn't get the reception you wanted it to get, you'll feel a bit disheartened and disappointed. So I really don't blame him for being a bit more vocal about him loving his shoe. And I think as a creator yourself, like, if you make a shoe, you're making it with the expectation that this is the best sneaker of the year, right? So I think he's coming from a position of a creator where it's like, okay, like, I made something, and I made it the best I could, so I love it and I appreciate it. And no hard feelings to him. I don't think he's trying to like gloat per se or be egotistical. I think he's just really proud of what he's done with New Balance so far, and he does great stuff.
Yeah, he should be.
So I totally understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, no, for sure. We're going to chat a little bit more about some of the other moments of the year, but I did want to take this moment to, first of all, promote your stuff as well. If you're not following Adham yet on social media, whether it's Instagram and YouTube, I think you had as well, but you don't really post that much on there. But do you post on YouTube at all?
Not too much.
Not too much.
I think I posted some old videos, but like Instagram's
and your
Twitter
thing.
or
Twitter,
X. Those are the big two.
Yeah, so if you want to follow Adham on any of those platforms, it's just at Chef Doomy, but you can also see the direct link just down in the description, so you can go check that out. Thank you again to everybody for watching our previous episodes, whether it be our lists about Nike, Jordans. We've got one more list coming up at the end of the year when it comes to top 10 New Balances. So thank you everyone for promoting the channel. We've reached over 6,000 subscribers just in this, I think in the last 36 months, I think it was. So I really have kind of gone from nothing to that, and it's all thanks to you guys for watching this, and thank you so much for all the views and everything on YouTube and Instagram as well. So thank you so much. That's just a quick little shout out. If you've made it this far in the video already, thank you so much. But there was one other, I suppose, moment of the year that I did want to chat to you about, and it's a big moment. It's Kith. Kith in 2025, I feel, was one of the biggest collaborators, not only with Adidas, not only with ASICS, but a little bit with Nike as well, which was a little bit of a surprise to people. I suppose I wanted to ask your take, because you kind of have been known as someone who loves Kith. Myself, I kind of only really got into them this year. To be honest, like, I've bought, I think, 3 pairs from them this year. I entered for a bunch more, didn't get them. But what was your kind of thoughts about Kith in the overall sense for 2025?
Yeah, so maybe this take might be a bit surprising, but I think they've had a strong year. I feel like there's something special about their last year as opposed to this year. I can't really put my finger on it, but uh, there's just something different, and I kind of think it has to do either with the frequency or the quality of
Yeah.
the releases. I feel like more releases in 2024 really garnered public interest, my own interest,
Mm.
and that sort of thing. I feel like this year, not as much, but not to say that they didn't have some great releases. Like, for example, um, I guess they still released the Daniel Kathari New Balance exclusively there, the 999 V2s, which served as like a follow up to the OG pair
Yeah.
from last year. And I mean, those are absolutely beautiful. Really happy that we had a chance to get a Daniel Kathari pair.
Mm-hmm.
The Marvel A6, I mean, Kith had a ton of A6 collabs,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the one I liked most was the Marvel A6, of course, versus Capcom.
Mm-hmm.
I got the whole set. Gonna have an unboxing video with that soon coming
Mm-hmm.
up. Um, but yeah, and then I think the sleeper that I picked up from there too is they've had a lot of collabs with Adidas as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So I also got the Superstar black ties. I wanted something that I could be dressy with, and
Yeah.
I actually really like them for Superstar. It has the rubber toe look and the shape, but it doesn't actually have a rubber toe. It's like a leather panel that's stitched to look like the rubber toe,
Mm-hmm.
which made me really like them a lot.
Yeah, yeah. It's the things with Adidas. They did like a pop up in a train station. Was it Central Station in New York, something like that? They did like a pop up.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of reimaginings of a Clark's Wallaby with like the 4D and the Ultra Boost. Like those, they've done so much that you could almost forget about some of the things they did. Like they had the Easter pair at the start of the year. They had the
Yep.
Osaka pack, where it be the 991 V2 and the 992, which are two of my absolute favorites from New Balance this
Oh, those
year.
are beautiful.
What else? I mean, you had obviously the Marvel pairs. My favorite from that pack was probably the Ryu pair, the one that had the mostly white canvas. Was a little bit of an interesting choice. A lot of people weren't a fan of canvas on a Gel Chrono 14. But man, all of those things totaled up is just kind of showing the crazy run that they had. Not only that, but also the clothing, the Nike Air Max 95, which unfortunately was only for kids. I was very bummed about that. But if you want to see some good photos of that, you should check out on Instagram, Mr. Riblets1218. You can see his tag just up here. He did some photos of like the burgundy pair, and of course, I tried to enter for my upcoming kid, but didn't quite get them, of course, because so many people tried to get them. They had other pairs and also jackets and such. I was just really impressed. And obviously they've gone from strength to strength, and Ronnie Feig really pushing a lot of his designs. Where do you think that they're going to go, I suppose, in 2026? Do you think they're going to continue to push? Because it's hard to see them pushing out more releases than what they did this year.
I think they're going to continue to push. I don't know if the frequency is going to change, but I think they're going to maintain the frequency. I mean, for example, if you look at like November,
yeah,
I mean, it was a release. It was like back to back to back footwear releases.
Yeah.
If we're talking sneakers exclusively, but just it's really collapsed back to back. So I think they're going to maintain that pressure.
Yeah.
My hope, which kind of actually better explains why I feel like 2025 cooled off versus 2024, is that my hope is that they're able to make things that entice the public more. I have a feeling that 2024, they had a lot of great releases that really captured and garnered the public attention. I think 2025, they also had great releases, but I feel like those releases were more kind of exploratory, like, okay, like it's really cool that they did this thing, but who's the audience sort of thing, right? So like, for an example, like, and Matt Welty, shout out to him, is actually the one who said this, and I agree with him, which is, you have the Ronnie Feig, Clark's Adidas, Clark's Wallaby, either with the 4D sole and the Ultra Boost. The whole story of how that came to be and the talk about the technical design is almost cooler than the shoe itself, because it's a really niche audience to sell that product. Now, not to say that I am really a big fan of them, but again, it came at a time where it's like, I have those and there's a ton of other shoes, and how much am I going to wear this versus the other shoes that I could possibly pick up, right? So I think Kith was kind of in that that space where it's like they did a lot of cool things because they could, and they wanted to flex their muscles in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping in 2026 they kind of say, okay, now that we flexed what we could do, let's do that, but with something that's really going to garner the public attention.
Yeah. Yeah, and not only that, they also opened up a store in London, obviously Osaka. Obviously, they increased or improved their existing store in New York. So, all of those sort of things going strength to strength. And there's even pairs that we forgot about, like the World's Fair pack that they had on the Gel Light 3. There was like a coffee 860 V2 from New Balance, like all of those ones. And there's pairs that I think if you only picked up Kith pairs this year, you probably would have picked up close to 50 different pairs. So that kind of speaks to
it's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's quite a lot. So, and they're all expensive. You just talked about Australian, it's like shipping internationally. All of these pairs that were shipping from Kith, you got to add on the extra $60 that we would pay for Australians to ship them over here. Like it's kind of the added tax of buying internationally. Like if I buy from like Armand Meunier or Vandy the Pink or somewhere from overseas, it's always a little bit more expensive coming to Australia, which I suppose might put some people off internationally. But again, we're a very small niche audience here in Australia. So, I'll take that as it comes and try and pick up pairs that I like, which makes me, happy to have pairs like this that are kind of meant for Australians, a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
That kind of thing. But that was another big moment. One thing of this year was also pre-orders. There was a lot of pre-orders. I felt some of the main ones that I wanted to chat about was the ALD 993, which was a pre-order from last year, but it came to people this year. And it was one of those, I forgot about that. And, well, some people forgot about it, myself included. And when people got them in hand, I was like, damn, like that's awesome. I wish I could go back in time, but you can't. And didn't they restock? I think they restocked for like an hour or something. And I was like, that happened at like 2 a.m. my time. So what was your thoughts about that ALD pair?
So really beautiful shoes. So when that pre-order came out in December of last year, I wanted it, but again, it was like, do I get this pre-order or do I buy the shoes that are readily available? I opted to buy the shoes that were readily available, but I knew I would regret it. And I knew because they were a beautiful shoe. And I know a lot of people forgot about it, but it would pop in my mind once a month, every month. And I'm like, I wish I got it. The only thing that held me back, and I was like, there's hope, is that ALD is notorious with all their pre-order pairs. They always get an extra allotment for like a first come first serve release. It's limited stock. They always do it. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, there's going to be the first come first serve release. There's going to be the first come first serve release. I think it was like end of September, October when a lot of the pairs landed, and after that there was nothing. And I was like, how has it been like so long? There's no first come first serve release. Then they started rolling out their holiday thing, and then two things happened. One is I got an email the night before the restock saying that it's back in stock. So I was like, oh, okay, this is going to happen. They're going to restock. And a lot of people who were signed up for notifications of it getting back in stock got that notification. And then the morning of when they restocked, they posted in their holiday, like this is going live at 11 a.m. Eastern. They had a photo of the 993s in there. So, everyone was like, okay, this is confirmation. I was able to get a pair, luckily, out of it. Aime Dore, notorious for releasing a little bit early, before 11 a.m. So the pairs went up, I think it was like it would have been, I guess, 10:57 Eastern, 7:57 my time. And so it was a really easy grab, honestly. And then it ended up I should say this. It was an easy grab if you knew that they dropped early and you were there when they did. But if you showed up at 8, a lot of the sizes were sold out. And then I think it fully sold out probably like 5 or 10 minutes after that. So, and it was all ready to ship allocation. So I lucked out that it wasn't too hard to grab. And I didn't have to pre-order and wait, and I was able to get it. And they're absolutely beautiful. Really good suede, really nice deep green. The design, the reason why they're called the Porsche 993 is a lot of the design elements are related to a Porsche. Like you have the perforated leather lining. You have the font of the ALD 993 that is consistent with the Porsche font. The coloring that just reminds you of a Porsche car. It's just a really beautiful shoe. It's really well done, really well done. And the 993 is a really good model.
Yeah. It's definitely all of that stuff that you were describing in terms of being there on time and 5 minutes before. All of that happened at 2 a.m. my time. So that was a bit like,
tough.
I woke up in the morning. I was like, oh no, damn it. Like missed them
I
all.
bet. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's the life. It's the life I lead. I choose to live here, so I've got to deal with the consequences. But yeah, no, that I did love that pair. It's definitely on my, I suppose, Grail list. Gonna cop that at one point. The only downside for me is it is a 993. I would have preferred a 992. That's kind of my preference in terms of the 99 models. 993 is probably going to be one of my least favorite ones of those. I have like one pair of them, and I've probably worn it a lot less than any of the 992s. Just personal foot preference, the way it fits and feels and all that. Just a little thing like that. But of course, with the premium materials, I'm like, damn, I wish I got it. Another one that kind of popped up recently was the Jjjound 990 V4. Jjjound sneakily in 2025 had a pretty good year when it comes to like ASICS Kyano 14s. This mushroom pair, another mushroom of the 993 dropped earlier in the year. And now they got a pre-order, which is probably going to come in like September next year, of the 990 V4. Similar situation. I have the 992 of that mushroom colorway, and I feel like I'm kind of happy with that. I don't really need another pair, and also, as I said before, I can't cop everything. I've got to, pay for these 991 V2s at some point. But did you pick up that pair, and are you pretty excited to have them come in next year?
Yeah, man, that to me was like a no-brainer pre-order. The mushroom colorway, a lot of people give Jjjound a lot of flack because it's like, oh, like there's nothing special about the collabs. I think the mushroom colorway specifically is a special, very Jjjound iconic colorway. For those of you listening who don't know, the mushroom was the first colorway, the first New Balance collaboration with Jjjound on the 990 V3. And then since then, there's been 3 other iterations. There's been the 992 that, Harrison mentioned that he had that came out in 2020. There's the 991s that came out, I want to say 2022, but don't take my word for it. But it was a 991 V1. And then, of course, the 993 that came out at the start of this year.
Yeah.
The mushroom is just a really special colorway to the brand and special for New Balance. Now, the 990 V4, which is the 5th iteration, the reason I say it's a no-brainer is, one, the V4s, I don't know if you've noticed, are more or less in kind of like a retirement phase. The orally 990 V4s are pretty much one of the last ones to release.
Yeah.
After that, we got the Whitaker group, jade green ones, and then now we have the Jjjound ones that are available for pre-order. So it seems like that model is like more or less out of retirement, but it seems like they keep it for special collaborators if they want to use it, sort of thing. But anyways, the 990 V4 for me is like the top 990 model that exists. V3 being a very close second. I just feel like the V4 is a bit more comfortable. But also another aspect of it is that the 990 V4 rendition of the mushroom colorway compared to all the other, or if you take that version, I guess I should say, you look at the other versions that released, which was the 991, the 993, and the 992, and you compare it to the 990 V3, the OG, the V4 is the most similar to the original mushroom colorway. So there is a bit of that history and like special thing about it. So anyways, all this to say, to me, it's a no-brainer. I think if you like the brand, I think if you like the colorway and you don't have the other mushroom colorways, you should definitely buy it. Or if a V4 is your favorite model, yes, absolutely buy it. And people say it's pre-ordered and so on, but it's just going to be the same thing as the ALDs, right?
Yeah.
People are going to regret not pre-ordering it.
Yeah.
Shoe's going to come in. It's going to be beautiful. And Jjjound has never done this before. Totally different animal from ALD. Who knows if they're going to have some sort of first come first serve restock? They might not, right? Like
probably not.
We don't know.
Yeah.
And the only thing I'm going to say to end this is I think there's going to be a trend with New Balance soon with these pre-orders.
Mm.
Which is, this is the second year in the row they do a pre-order for something in December for a fall of the next year delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And it's with two of their, like, I have to say, like, I feel like ALD and Jjjjound are like two of their largest collaborators. So I think there's a trend happening
Okay.
where, and it's not a trend until it happens a third time. But
Yeah.
if in 2026 there's a planned pre-order for something delivered in fall,
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a trend there. And in my mind,
Yeah.
the next collaborator that would get the spot for that would be Kith, because I mean, obviously
Yeah.
I like Kith, so it sounds biased, but I also just think they're one of those big powerhouse collaborators
Yeah.
for the brand that can actually achieve doing it.
Yeah.
So that's my theory, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see December 26th, 2026. So
Perhaps in a similar
find
vein to the Jordan 11 holiday releases, something similar to that in terms of like it's an annual thing.
yeah, it's just an annual thing. You know it's going to happen. I think the only odd thing about it this year with the holiday 11 is that it was with the gammas, which I guess
Yeah.
people were shocked about. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I don't think 11s really go crazy anywhere than the US, honestly,
Yeah,
and
no.
maybe Canada.
There's a little
But
bit
yeah, they
in
went crazy this
the
year.
UK. There's a little bit of a scene there. Like I've seen a bunch of creators who from the UK be jazzed about them, but yeah, they came to Australia, and I think there's still some sitting around. So yeah, it's not like. And again, it's summer here. Trying to wear a Jordan 11 in summer is like hell on your feet. Like it's so big,
Yeah,
bulky, patent leather. It's hot. It's gross. Like I just, I can't do it. It's not very comfortable in terms of like everyday lifestyle wear. So pretty much as soon as it starts getting hot, I just throw on the runners and comfy runners. So that's just what I do. And yeah, that holiday release doesn't really resonate that much here in Australia, especially when it's a Jordan 11. But speaking of brands that did something for the first time, we're going to have a little chat about the Advisory Board Crystals pre-order, another pre-order that was kind of teased in July of this year. I think it was July 27th. I can actually remember the date that they kind of went up for, I guess, pre-order. That's the thing with a lot of these other ones, ALD and Jjjjound, they give you a date and it kind of gives you a bit of completion. Like I know when it's going to come, and usually it does. However, with the Advisory Board Crystals collaboration with PUMA and the Fantastic Four movie, we still don't have a final resolution date as to when they will ship. That we have some updates as to, they've gotten stock. There's been stuff with customs. I've even seen some movements of people who are doing like a cease and desist type lawyer action on them about, that sort of thing. That I've had a couple of DMs about that. Haven't quite entertained that yet. I have thought about trying to get a refund, but then I'm like, but what if I don't get the shoes eventually? I think I'm at this point, I'm so far in, I'm so deep that I have to just wait until they actually come. So I suppose give us a bit of your take. Advisory Board Crystals are a smallish brand, but PUMA is also a huge brand. So there's been a bit of discrepancy there. But I suppose what was your thoughts about this drop overall? Because you were one of the first creators to kind of showcase them.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be like a pre-order, which is why it wasn't communicated. And I feel like I just really feel bad for Remington and Heather who run Advisory Board Crystals, because I think they had a really cool project. They had a really cool idea, and then I think they just really just bad turn of events where they're hitting like every step of the process from the start of the project to the finish. It wasn't smooth for them. Like even just, talking with Remington, he was saying like even the, design phase of it all was a challenge for him too. Right. So I really do feel bad for them, because I think it's a cool project. It's a unique project, but obviously it's getting overshadowed by this, this issue where, everyone's supposed to have these shoes like in August, and here we are in December, and no one has had them yet. So I feel really bad for them. I don't know what would have happened in customs to delay it so long. But I mean, it's not unheard of where stuff gets stuck in customs, and it's just, it takes however long it takes for it to get resolved. I kind of hope that at least from PUMA side and from advisory board, Crystal's side, like there's a lot of lessons learned, and they know how to do better moving forward. Because when it comes with shoes and collabs, like a lot of times the collaborators don't really have control of the product. It's really the brand that's they're collabing with does. So in this case, Puma is the one that's responsible for all the product, and you are privy to what Puma tells you or what they say. So it's just an unfortunate situation. So I guess the plus side, everyone was kind of relieved when we heard the update of the shoes are coming, they're going to ship, but then we also haven't heard anything since. So I have to imagine it's probably going to be in the new year at this point, just with the holidays and whatnot. Because I think they're also trying to plan the logistics. I remember them saying they wanted everyone to more or less get their package at the same time. So the surprise wouldn't be spoiled in terms of the blind boxes. But
I guess
so I just have to imagine, nothing's going to get resolved until the new year.
I think that might mean that they have to ship the Australian pairs in like 2 weeks before you guys in America, because we always get things a little bit later. So I guess timing all that's going to be tough.
And that was ultimately what they were trying to do. I remember when they were talking about it, right? They were saying like they would have to ship the international pairs at a different time, then the domestic pairs, so that everyone kind of receives it more or less at the same time, which I mean, that's a crazy logistical challenge, honestly. And I feel like I like that they want to keep the element of surprise, but someone I talked to said it's kind of like an example of over-analysis in a way. Because they don't want someone to like look on Instagram and see, because they got the shoe before everyone, like what the shoes look like, right? Like they're trying to preserve that blind box element, but also like I also feel like it's one of those things where it's like, no matter how much you plan, even customs to get it to a pair in Australia could delay the whole process or something, right? So to me, it just makes sense that you get them, just fulfill them the way you fulfill the quickest, and maybe just abandon that idea. But I guess we'll see how things unfold. I mean, we're near the end at this point. We're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, as they say.
I suppose they've maybe suffered a little bit from like the Icarus phenomena where they flew too close to the sun.
Flying too close to the sun.
A little bit of that. But hey, I think once we eventually get the pairs, and whatever you do eventually get, of course it's a mystery. And I think that even if you see a pair online, like whoever is going to post them first is going to get a lot of attention. But then there's going to be like, well, I got this pair, but then other people got different pairs, because there's like 6 different pairs. So you're going to have a fair amount of chance to kind of, I suppose, blind unbox. And I'm sure that I'm going to do some sort of like, live reaction kind of thing. I suppose the intended rollout is people doing like live reactions to it. So definitely going to be doing one of those.
Exactly.
Yeah. That was I suppose a somewhat of a disappointment. Another disappointment of 2025 was the Travis Scott release of his Fragment Jordan Travis Scott Cactus Jack, whatever you want to call it, triple collaboration. The third time he's collaborated with Fragment on a pair. First of all was the high, and then at the first low, and now the second low. We've seen this pair for 3 years now. First of all on Hiroshi Fujiwara's feet, 2022, I think, was one of his first leaks.
Was it really that long?
It was 2023. Something like that, but
that's wow! I didn't realize. Time flies.
And it's like we first saw that, and then of course you see some more images, and then there's like a rumored release date in like September, and that never comes, and then November they come, and then you're like, it's on his site, but it's only available for US orders. There was a pop-up in Tokyo, that sort of thing, but it just felt like we'd been seeing so many pairs backdoored, so to speak. Like I saw people, like for example, Seth Fowler on YouTube is one of the biggest content creators. I'm sure if you're watching this, you know who he is. He did a reaction to that in like July, and I'm like, you're paying a lot to get this pair, or he's even been given them from someone who has somehow backdoored these pairs, and it's like, it's kind of ruins, I suppose, the overall community sense of getting the shoe. And I know that Travis Scott is a bit different from everyone else. He's not really, I suppose, that worried about, the public perception, because he's already kind of got his bag in some way. But what did you think about that kind of release? Because I was fairly disappointed, and I suppose having no Australian release was a bit furtherly disappointing compared to the other people who got them in the US.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Travis Scott website is always a disappointment, right? Like regardless of what the release is, it's always it's gotten a lot better in the last year or so, but it's always very limited winners, no winners, and then you have to rely on retailers anyways.
Mm.
But yeah, this one they wanted to do it Travis Scott exclusive, which is only US shipping. And the plus side of it is that you should see a lot of winners, which honestly on Twitter you saw a lot of winners, which is a good thing. But it is still bums you out when you see there is a decent amount of winners, but there could have been more, and there could have been more because if they just didn't backdoor so many, there could have been more, right? So
Yeah.
I really wish that, which this goes to say why I like a lot of the other brands more than Nike and Jordan, is I feel like Nike and Jordan, they just don't do a good job of controlling that. I also think there's a bit of intention in not wanting to control that because it's the hype generation, right?
Yeah.
It generates hype and whatnot. And I just feel like New Balance, Asics, Hoka, Salomon, like whoever, they do, they are very, well, for lack of a better term, they're very federal about that stuff, which I appreciate as a consumer, just because it's like, okay, like if you're going to release something, I know I have a chance because I know that there's not going to be funny business. And you know what? Maybe it's just because Nike and Jordan are a lot more popular. That's why. But I just feel like even if you're more popular, you get more revenue, then you can spend more revenue to protect your goods, right? So it's just unfortunate, really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, it's always a disappointment. I was glad to see a lot of winners. I had a few creator colleagues that won, which I was really happy to see. But that was a shoe I really wanted. But I'm always in the mood of, retail or bust, right? At this point, like I'm not like how I was 2-3 years ago where I have to have XYZ shoe. I will pay the 1,000, 2,000 to get it. That was, a silly moment of me to have that moment. So I don't do that anymore, honestly. So I mean, it's Travis' site, right? Like that's just how it is.
Yeah. I think you're right in all of that. Like saying that they kind of don't care that a lot of people, like resellers, are buying 500 pairs or getting 500 pairs and then selling them on the aftermarket for triple the price. 10 times the price, whatever it may be. They don't really care about that because they've got a whole other divisions of, they've got Nike's obviously the biggest sportswear brand, and they've got so many other things going on that kind of this is almost like a blip on the radar just for like sneakerheads when they're still focusing on the rest of their consumers, which is 90% of the other space of their business. So it was just disappointing that they didn't come to Australia, and they weren't able to come to Australia or the UK. I am trying very hard to find someone in Australia who would be willing to let me make some content with that pair, whether it be a review or photos or just something like that. Just, I suppose, if anyone has a retail pair that even just willing to let me borrow for a small amount of time, or buy for a little bit over retail, maybe it's out of the goodness of your heart, I could maybe convince someone, because I'd really like to obviously make some. I do like the whole point is that I do love the way they look. Like I love kind of all white. The blue's really nice. The fragment, like they look great, and I think there'd be some great opportunities to make some content around that. So, I'm still trying, but maybe in the new year when try and find some way to make some content with that. Obviously I live in Brisbane, which is a little bit further away from some of the other major cities of Australia, but I'm sure that something will pop up and I'll be able to eventually make some content with that pair. But in the meantime, there's a ton of other pairs going on. As you said, November was crazy. There was a lot of different pickups. You had Black Friday stuff. There's a ton of other sales going on. Have there been any, just on a side note, have there been any other pickups for you this year? I didn't really ask you about that. Sorry, in the last little bit that you're kind of wanted to chat about.
Yeah, so I mean, I mentioned the ALD 993, so that was a pickup. I did get my Ruckus 480s in, so I actually ordered this at ComplexCon as a pre-order, and then it it finally came in. Very beautiful New Balance numeric shoe, really well done by the Ruckus team. I did partake in the Salahe Black Friday sale. So the only pairs that he restocked in a really good quantity was the 1906s and the Lava and Magma. So I picked those up. And then the 1,000 he actually dropped to the other colorway of his New Balance 1,000. So I grabbed those two. I tried grabbing the 1,500s because they were $100, like,
Yeah.
but I got cart jacked.
Ah.
And when by the time I could see what were his 2002 models called? He had both of them. Peace be upon, what is it? Not Peace be upon you. Peace be the journey.
Yeah, and Water
And
Be the
Water Be
Way.
the Guide. I don't know if they had my size ever loaded in those or not, but if they did, I would have tried to pick them up. But
Yeah.
no, I didn't see my size in stock. So very happy what I got there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking
Sure,
right
I
now
picked
and you can see
yeah.
that other pair of the 1000s either on sale in almost a full size run, and the other pair, the berry pair, you want to call it, with the almost orangey yellow
Yeah.
midsole, that's still sitting in a full size run on his, like, not on sale, but still on his website. You got a bunch of his Crocs Junipers, the kind of really, I've had a pair of those. I actually have just recently sold my pair because I was like, I'm never wearing these. Like, it just doesn't fit me
Yeah.
well. It's a cool concept. They look cool, but they're just not very practical in terms of actually wearing them for an all day. One of the
And they're so heavy.
They're so heavy. They're literally, I think I weighed them. They're like 2.2 kilos, like each.
Wow,
It's
that is
heavy. It's
insane.
heavy.
Yeah.
And wearing those around, yeah, it's not very fun for a long time. But I mean, one of the biggest pairs, that one of the ones that I'd be excited to pick up is actually the 991 V2. I love that pair, like that purple pair.
Yeah, they're
Man,
nice.
those are
They're
so
nice.
nice.
I'm just shocked that those ones he kept at they were originally 200 and then he dropped it to 170.
Yeah.
And I'm shocked he put those at that price and then he put his 1,500s at $100,
Mm. Yeah.
which to me was shocking. They both came out more or less at the same
Yeah.
time, right? Like early in the year.
Yeah.
I would have figured he'd put both at
Mm.
100,
Thing is,
but unfortunately he didn't.
we never got a chance at that 991 V2 here in Australia. It never came to the New Balance website, unlike his 1500 and the 1000, all of those
Oh,
pairs.
that's
They
shocking.
never came to the New Balance website. So it was either buy from his website, which a lot of people did. But again, like I said, we incur more shipping costs when you buy from international websites. So yeah, eventually, maybe a little bit of Christmas money or something, I'll pick up that 991 V2 because, yeah, I love that pair so much. I'm also just cognizant of buying too many of the same models. I feel like I've bought like 5 992s this year, like 3 991 V2s. I'm buying too much of one model. I don't want to become typecast, but I mean, I like what I like. I like what I like at that point. So
Yeah,
no, I really love that
exactly.
colorway. Suppose one pair that I will chat about that I don't think I've really posted about yet because there has been a ton of other pickups was these ones, which came from End Clothing. They've released a bunch of shoes this year, whether it be Adidas, whether it be with Mizuno, but it was the olive pair of their Saucony, what's the Shadow 6000, the olive pair.
Yeah, that's nice. That collection of those two pairs, very beautiful.
Their collab with Saucony. It's got the little End logo on the tongue there. You've got the dove with the piece with the olive. You got like the olive on the side there, embroidered. Very comfortable. The suede, really, really good. Hopefully going to be putting out a bit of content about these ones because I just love them. And I picked them up for 40% off, which is awesome. And kind of a testament to, I suppose, waiting. Like one of my favorite pairs from last year that I picked up earlier this year was the Nessie pair from Saucony and End. Like,
and that was on sale too.
I suppose in the same vein, this is kind of a similar sort of just kind of wait, I suppose, for a sale, which is, I suppose, disappointing for End. I think if you want to chat about a moment of the year, End had a lot of collabs and they were celebrating 20 years. But at some point, it felt like it was a little bit oversaturation, where a lot of the pairs that they were releasing were just sitting around for a long period of time. A little bit disappointing, like for them, I suppose. They wanted to continue to sell out and such, like they did with previous pairs. But, I think just the market being a little bit oversaturated is kind of an embodiment of how End was releasing all these shoes this year. But I don't know if you picked up any pairs from End in their collaboration cycle, but this is definitely a winner for me, for sure. Love this.
Yeah, those were really nice. I didn't pick them up, but I feel like the other winners was the Avocado Solomon XT Whispers.
Mm-hmm.
Those were beautiful. I didn't pick those up either, honestly, but they did send me a pair actually earlier in the year. It would have been the Adidas BW Army Fish and Chips. I thought that was Really cool pair. Really unique for a BW Army in terms of material choices, and the story is just good. You know, fish and chips is such a staple for the UK, and unfortunately, I'm not well versed on the specific town that kind of like it's more special to, but just perfect for a 20th anniversary of End, right? Like to really celebrate that shoe. And you know, the designer from End who's responsible for it she really did a great job designing that shoe down to the packaging.
Yeah. And they had the Asics pair with the milk bar from the Nimbus 10.1.
Those are beautiful.
Very clean, white, cream, lovely navy blue. Very, very nice. Like there's a ton of different ones. I could probably list all of them, but I'd probably take up a little bit too much time. So I suppose that was one of my more recent pickups on the slow side. On the low side of the price range, and then obviously I showed the 991 V2, which was far more on the high side of the price range. So I guess there's value to be seen both on the high and the low, especially when you come to Black Friday sales, Boxing Day sales. So
absolutely,
if there's some shoes that have been on your list for ages and they're still sitting there, check them out when it comes to Boxing Day, New Year's Day, because they'll probably be on sale. Because again, 2026 is going to be another massive year. I suppose as we kind of round off, there was one more topic I wanted to chat to you about and get your opinion on, was a couple of new models. In terms of New Balance, they had the 2010, they had the 2000 model. You obviously some new basketball performance models like the Shy 1, the AE2. I suppose what was a standout for you? It doesn't have to be a specific one, like as in a specific colorway or collaboration, but what was like a specifically standout new model for you for this year?
Yeah, that's easy. That's the New Balance 2000
I knew
sneaker of the year. I've been saying it since it was about to come out, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just, I really like that shoe. And I keep saying this to people and people are in disbelief, but it is just a good take coming out of the 90-60 era. So obviously the 90-60 really popular with the mainstream. It really captured a good audience. It sells well. They sell a lot of them, but a lot of people don't like the way the bulkiness looks on foot, especially when you look down.
Yeah.
I feel like the 2000 has that bulkiness. It has kind of that look, but it's more refined. It's kind of like a good mix of futuristic and retro elements. But then even though they're chunky, when you look at them from the side, when you look down, they look slim. Specifically because the way the pods are placed on the shoe is so well done. And then they're extremely comfortable. They fit well. They're extremely comfortable. You can wear them all day, no pain. And I think the first color, which was that Stillwater, that blue color, was just like the right color for the original first release. And honestly, every single color that they've released since has just been good. They have the Aime collab, that was the green that glows in the dark, that was good. But then also just the GRs. They have a beautiful pink one. They have a beautiful all black gray. They just released this iridescent one that looks beautiful. And even one that, I mean, I guess we should shout out is the one that was pretty much impossible to cop, but the Joe Fresh Kids pink pair, which that was a beautiful pair too. But I mean, I'm not going to be able to get those, unfortunately, and I don't think you will. Unfortunately, there was only like, I think the rumor is that there was, for sure, there was 50 pairs that were released in Paris, but I think the word on the street is that there was a bit more total made. Whether that's 75 or 100 pairs, I don't know, but just, you know, that's like an impossible to cop shoe unless you're lucky somehow.
Yeah, I think it's probably where I'm just having a quick look on StockX because I am actually interested. I did see, I tried to look on there. It's about $900 Australian. I'm seeing one in my size, which is not crazy, but then that's only one, and then there's a bunch for like 1,500, and then there's almost every other size, like from a size 4 to a size 9 is all bid. So there's not actually any listed. So that's the thing. Like,
so I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Reason is the pairs they gave away in Paris, there was no box. It was just the shoe. And obviously with StockX, you have to sell with the box. So I'm actually surprised there's pairs even for sale that you can buy with the box, because I know the box exists and it's around, but it's very difficult to come by.
Yeah. I mean, so I think that there's going to be Hopefully that pair, maybe some people will pop up, but I think it's okay. I saw it and I was like, oh, I might cop it, but then I was kind of, that's a good story, just releasing in one place at one time, kind of a bit of a throwback. I was like, okay, cool. There'll be plenty of other cool colorways coming out. I'm happy with that being just a nice little story for Paris and all that sort of thing. Again, another sort of regional exclusive type of shoe, which is really, really cool. Another thing that I wanted to chat about was, the 2010. I do really like that model, the Joe Freshgoods pair. Speaking of Joe Freshgoods, that 2010 was really cool with the, what's it called? The bag lady. And
he did such a good job with those.
Yeah.
The hand-me-downs.
Hand-me-downs was the other one.
He did such a great job with those.
Yeah.
He actually everyone was expecting like a really I guess big story on those apparently, but apparently it wasn't too elaborate like his other pairs.
Yeah.
You were saying on the Complex Sneakers podcast that a lot of people were expecting that there was some connection with so and so, and he's like, no, it's a lot more simple than that, which kind of unique to see Joe take that approach. But I think he's just in a phase in his career where he's more focused on his his new role at New Balance, where he's a bit more prominent overseeing stuff versus being the creator himself. Like he's trying to be a bit more in the background, it seems like.
Yeah, I feel that.
But nonetheless, he made a beautiful shoe. And I think with that said, it doesn't mean he's going to stop making shoes. We still have those every now and then 992s that got to come at some point, whenever that is.
Still my favorite New Balance of the whole year. Still, I'm sorry to up there. I'm sorry. I know we were just seeing a bracket. By the time this podcast comes out, we've seen the bracket from New Balance World on Instagram. You can see their link just up here. You've seen their bracket come and go, and this Joe Freshgoods pair got beaten out by the Osaka pair, I believe. I can't remember which way it was, but anyway, it didn't make the final two. Which it made the final four, but not the final two. And, it did lose to the Up There pair. Anyway, beside the point.
Lost to the Up There pair, yeah.
Beside the point, you will have seen the winner already. But in my opinion, this is going to be, spoiler alert, this is going to be my number one sneaker from New Balance for 2025. This is, and again, it's the story around it as well. Like they were all sold out, and I had a friend give me an RA, like retail assist. He went into the store. It was like the last pair available. Picked it up in my size.
Awesome.
So I suppose it's more than just that the sneaker colorway looks good. It's the connection and the story around it. And I just love the colorway and everything. Super wearable. Actually, it just reminds me I need to wear it more. Like there's been so many pairs, but you pull one out and you're like, I haven't worn that in a few weeks. But I guess I don't want to get it too dirty. That's the thought around it as well. Like there's only certain places I can wear it, especially with the job of walking around a lot. So no, that's super cool to hear your insight about that pair from the 2000 pair. I know you love that pair. If anyone follows you on Instagram, they will know that you love that pair. And again, if you want to check out Adham's Instagram or his Twitter, you can check that out in the description below. And again, man, thank you so much for all of your insight and
Thanks for having me.
Your way that you talk about sneakers is unlike a lot of other people. I feel like there's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of perspective. We recently saw you on the First Kicks pod when you were in New York with Hassan. Like, if you haven't checked that out, why not just check it down in the description below? So I'll throw that link down there as well, so you can check out that one. If you have not had enough of Adham, you can go and listen to another podcast with him. And I'm sure that if you created your own podcast, you'd probably have some people tuning into that yourself. So thank you again, man. And I suppose, was there any sort of final remarks, any final thoughts about 2025 as a year before we sign off for the evening?
Yeah, I think just reiterating what I said at the start, just a great year in sneakers. Doesn't discount other years in any way, but it was really fun to have all these releases and all that energy again in sneakers that I feel like we kind of lost in the last couple of years here. It kind of reminded me of like when I first got into sneakers with Boost and stuff. It was that same energy, which it's just so fun.
Yeah,
just that's what makes it fun.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Connecting with people, community, all that sort of stuff is really fun. And I think there's a lot of discourse in 2025, some good, some bad, but I think that we'll learn from it and continue forward into 2026, which is going to be hopefully another really awesome year. And I'm excited to see what it brings us. So again, thank you so much, Adham, for joining us. Thank you so much to everyone for watching, listening. Please subscribe, rate the episode, rate the podcast if you liked it. And again, we're going to be putting out a couple more for the end of the year. But thank you so much to everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you.